Hey everyone, and welcome back. Techno Security 2022 in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and obviously everyone knows my next guest, Jessica Hyde of Hexordia, right?
Hexordia.
Hexordia. Gosh, see, I knew I told you I was
were
going to
so
mess up
close.
in
You were
prep.
so close.
I was repeating it over and over again to get it right, and
You
I
had
still
it
messed
perfect
up.
then.
I did.
So I give you all the credit. You had it perfect
man,
then. So you
it's
still
still
get the credit.
disappointing. Anyway, it's not something I can just go and edit back because we're kind of live.
That's what's awesome about this, right?
Yeah. Well, hey, thank you for agreeing to pop on to our show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, we've known each other for a few years now.
Quite a bit
I think
of
it was
time.
in HTCIA, actually.
I think we
met
did
one
meet
year.
at HTCIA.
Yeah, it was Anaheim, maybe?
Yeah,
or maybe before that.
Was DC before Anaheim or Anaheim before DC?
I don't know now.
One of them.
It
Yeah, it all starts to
goes
blend
together
together.
when you've been in the industry for a minute.
True. Well, we definitely saw each other both places. I don't know which years were in which order.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, I became an instant fan as soon as I met
that's
you.
so
You
kind.
were one of the nicest people in the industry I've ever met. So just thank you for being who you are. That's all.
Thank you. You know, you are one of the most dynamic people here. And so that is always, I feel like, you know, sometimes there are people, you're magnets and you're magnetized towards people.
Yeah.
And you are so dynamic that it attracts us. And thank you so much. You know, I just believe that if you're nice to people, good things will happen, right?
Absolutely. 100%. Actually, 1,000%. So, yeah. And your knowledge and the fact that you share your knowledge in the industry is probably one of my favorite things. You're not one that, there's some hoarders of information sometimes, but you're not that person.
But how does that help us?
It
right?
doesn't, exactly.
In our field, everything's changing every day. There's millions of apps, millions of devices, millions of sources of data that we have to investigate. And if we don't share,
right,
if we don't collaborate, how are we going to get anywhere? And nothing I do is rocket science. We're all just building on each other. We're just learning and sharing. And if we share, guess what happens? We save more lives. We put more bad guys behind. We stop more incidents from happening. We stop bad by stopping it. We prevent it, right?
That's right.
And our investigations matter, and we're not going to get there alone. Nobody in this industry knows everything.
Oh, heck no.
The reason we're all here at conferences and events and places like HTCIA is to get that knowledge, and in talking to people, finding out who the go-to person is for that thing when you see it.
Right.
And that's really the magic. So, yeah, I encourage everyone to share. And even more importantly, it doesn't matter where you are in your career. You can be in school, and you can be sharing what you're learning, what you're researching, because there's always somebody who's not where you are yet or hasn't seen what you've seen.
That's right.
And every investigation,
Yeah.
it's the good old life's like a box of chocolates.
Even when you see the students come out with phenomenal projects that I see them researching this, and I'm like, I've always wanted time to like break that down, and they did that. And even though we've been in the industry for a minute, and they're brand new, and they're doing something that we have not, and that's the what I love about it, right? We can learn from everyone. Yeah.
I teach at George Mason,
Yeah.
right? I teach in a graduate program. And my students do brand new research every term in mobile device forensics. And it blows my mind. And you know what? It's not even just their research that I learn from. One of the reasons that I love teaching is, I don't know if I should tell my students this, but I learn more from them than they learn from me, right? Because they are always asking questions from a new perspective that's not mine. So it helps reduce bias that I'm in just from my time in industry and my experience and my exposure to things. And they look at the same questions and the same problems from an entirely different perspective. And also as digital natives, right? Like, I'm old. Well, I'm not old, but I'm old.
No,
Do you know what I mean?
old.
Like enough so that you know, I didn't grow up with a cell phone in my pocket. They didn't exist when I was 3.
Right.
But my students, they did. And so, and also, just to be clear, I sometimes have career professionals as students. My class is about 50-50 because it's graduate school. So it's a really, really cool dynamic to have like these really, really fresh thoughts and very well-informed thoughts that are all coming together in brand new research. And it is like one of the funnest things I get. I love everything I do, so I don't even know what to say is the funnest. But
No, I love it. I love watching people speak of passion about digital forensics, and that is right there. I absolutely love it, the fact that you're very passionate about it. So what do you think of the conference so far?
I think the conference is awesome. So I will say that it's one of the greatest things to be back.
Yes.
Like I feel it's back. So I went to events last year, and last year it didn't feel like it was back. Last year it felt like everything was still a little bit hampered. Everything was still a little bit cautious.
Right.
Not that people here are being unsafe. That's not what I mean. What I mean is that as an industry, people and organizations, and it makes you realize how important it is to be in person. And it also reminds me of how tall everyone else is. Zoom was the great equalizer. I'm a smidge under 5 foot. And so on Zoom, I was just as tall as all my friends who are giants.
Exactly.
And now I'm not.
It's all about the camera angle, really, on Zoom.
Yeah, it is. It is. My camera is well positioned so that.
See,
I
mean, look. I mean, if you look at the live feed, we're pretty right there.
So I'm going to tell you a secret. I have no length in my legs. So I'm one of those people, if you meet me sitting down in a restaurant, you think that I'm not short, and then I stand up and I'm shorter than I was standing, and then you're like, oh, the chair was giving her height. It's totally unrelated to forensics.
That's funny. I see you're wearing a speaker badge.
I am, yep.
Did you have a talk, or are you having a talk?
I've got 3 talks.
Holy moly.
So,
good for you. What do you got?
So this afternoon, I'm going to be talking about cloud forensics. And when I say, what do you mean by cloud forensics? In this instance, both putting data in the cloud that you're doing forensics on, right, doing your forensic analysis process in the cloud, and then forensics analysis of those same systems, AWS, Azure, and Google's cloud platform. And
such a huge trend
this
year.
You know, nephrophobia, the fear of clouds, is a real thing. Like, that's actually a term, and it's for people who are scared of that, but I'm trying to eliminate it. That's the point of the session. So we're eliminating nephrophobia, and we're getting people used to the concept of, can I do forensics in the cloud?
Right.
And then also, the reason for doing both in a talk and giving an explanation of both is I'm then able to speak about the features in those 3 major cloud platforms and put them into terms of how you would use them to store and deal with evidence in that process. And then when we talk about doing the analysis of it, you already have a feel for how it's used. So that's the reason I'm presenting it that way today. Then tomorrow,
I like that spin on that. It's really good.
Thank you. Tomorrow I'm talking about air tags.
Uh-huh.
And the TLDR on air tags is they are scary.
I haven't had a chance to play with them yet, so that may be. When's the talk tomorrow?
So my talk tomorrow is at 1:30.
Okay.
And the air tags are scary, and I know not only looked at the Apple side, but also what happens if you have an Android device and you have the tracker detector. And I will tell you, based on, I'll give you the real TLDR from just a safety perspective outside of forensics. Come learn the forensics tomorrow. But for anyone listening, if you're concerned about trackers being on you, either because you have a risk profile, you're going someplace where you don't want people to know, including your home from the bar, right? Or if you work in a space where people shouldn't be able to follow you, and you want to make sure you don't have something on you, an iOS device will alert you when a tracker's on you, but it may take hours or days before it picks up on it or notifies you. It's not instantaneous, so none of them will start to notify until 15 minutes after. But an Android device, so an iOS device passively alerts you.
Okay.
And so it eventually will tell you that something's following you. But if you want to know that moment before you decide which train you're getting on, so that you don't even want somebody to know which train you're getting on, right? Because you're going to detect it, stop it, right?
Right.
You physically rip the detector apart, the AirTag apart, and I'll actually show that tomorrow. I'll show one that's apart.
I'm coming. I'm coming to that talk.
And then I'll tell you how I accidentally got one apart to actually still broadcast. So yeah, no, like check this out. It's cool. So we'll sprinkle in both the forensics and the practical, right? So both sides will be talked about. But with the Android, you can scan actively at any time, but it'll never give you an alert. So really my advice is even if you're an iOS user, that I would get a cheap Android device, and if you're concerned about that profile, because at least you can use it to scan actively instead of passively. So you can determine, you know what, I'm about to get on the subway. I don't want people knowing which way I'm going.
Right.
I just left the club. Because, I clubs don't. No, I do not. In some of the scenarios I might be building for CTFs and certification exams, that happens, or for my students, but not in real life. My profiles live out the life that I'm too old to live. And so... it's true, right? I get to live all these fake lives creating data sets. But with the Android device, you can actually use the tracker detector, scan your person, and know if there's an AirTag within your vicinity. But the problem is it has to be 15 minutes after it was dropped on you. Because if you're in with distance of the iOS device that controls the tracker, it won't ping until you're 15 minutes away from it. So really, you have to know these things from a safety perspective.
So it's really
if your places.
Twofold thing. I mean, you have to
You
have
have to
the
wait
distance.
for the distance
Okay.
from the person
And the
for
time.
15 minutes and the time. So you really
doggone.
want to be
Okay.
away from anyone who you suspected may have tagged you for 15 minutes, and then you have to run the detector, and then you'll be able to see if there's an AirTag on you. But there's all
Wow.
kinds of crazy stuff. The MAC addresses change all the time, so it's hard to track them, and what's left on the trackee versus the tracker. Come to the talk.
I
It's
feel
awesome.
I feel also a white paper or maybe a longer video on this from you.
There's
This is me
there's
trying to
some cool
talk you into
stuff.
some awesome stuff coming.
Yeah. So Chris Vance put out a great blog, and Josh Hickman put out a great blog. So there's always there's already some great content out there.
Great.
And then, so I just want people to know what's already out there to check those out. So D20 Forensics and the Binary Hick
Okay.
both have blog posts on different parts
Yeah.
of the situation. Then I have some other things I tested. So I'll be sharing information from, again, we build on giants, we build on other people.
Right.
So, and we always give credit. So building on the
Absolutely.
work that Chris and Josh did, I did some additional research, and so I'll be sharing the entire plethora of all of those things. So lots of information that talk, and then
Heck to the
then Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday, and let's not talk about the scary stuff Apple's doing. Let's talk about the scary stuff Google's doing. So we'll be doing a deep dive into takeouts. And if you have not looked at what Google is checking out on that, please come see me on Thursday.
I did this the first time about a month ago, and yeah.
I am going to tell you that in my own, so I've done casework, I've done
Uh-huh.
test data, and I've
Right.
pulled my own. And I will tell you that in my old data set, so before I had a Gmail account, don't ask me how, but Google knows what Usenet sites I used to frequent and hang out on in the 90s before I had a Google account.
Wait, what?
Because Google bought Usenet, and somehow they were able to correlate. So if you come to my talk, you'll get to find out what 19-year-old Jessica used to do on the internet. Which isn't scary, it's just funny, right? So you get to learn what my hobbies were when I was 19 that are totally not my hobbies now. These are my teasers to come to the talk. But but in addition, you're going to learn all the scary stuff, and we'll talk about from different perspectives. We'll talk about what you get related to an Android device, what you get related to a Chromebook, which I've done a lot of Chromebook research. I've got a Chromebook talk coming out publicly in July with the OSDFCon talks that have been distributed.
Okay. Right.
I've got what you're going to get off of a regular computer and what you're going to get from the enterprise environment. From Google keeps changing the name. Google Workspace, G Suite, Google Enterprise, whichever term you've heard it under.
Right.
It's currently Google Workplace, but we'll talk about what the data is from that. And at the end of the day, when you do a takeout, please click the box for audit logs. I feel like I got to give people the TLDR when I'm there, because that will give you the IP address for every single time people used a Google service and which IP address used what service on a timeline in 30-day junkets. So please turn that on. And if you work in a corporate environment, please enable that logging.
We
It's
use it.
off by
Now
default.
I'm like, do we
It's-
use that in our
it's-
G Suite, whatever it's called now,
Yeah,
workplace
yeah.
stuff? I'm like, I got to check it out.
And it's off by, that checkbox is off by default when you go to take a takeout, so it's the one, please turn that one on.
Oh, excellent. Oh, my gosh, such a wealth
Sorry,
of
I'm
information.
trying to give you nuggets while we're here, right?
It's a ton. Now I see I got a million more questions, but I want to be cognizant of your
gosh.
time as well, because you have something later, right?
Well, yeah, I've got this talk
your
coming
talk,
up.
and I don't
Yeah,
want to keep you. So tell me a little bit of what you're up to now, other than
Sure.
other than the million of things of research you just talked about. I want to talk a little bit about your company and what you do. What you do there.
Excellent. Yeah. So I really wanted to get back to my roots, working at DoD and IC. So we're doing government contracting. We're not only a woman-owned small business, but service-disabled veteran-owned small business. So if anybody is interested in teaming with us, we're definitely open to those discussions. So we're back providing services in that space, and we're also developing training for mobile forensics in conjunction with Cyber 5W, and the goal is for it to be accessible to folks who are looking to get into industry, lat movers, people who are changing careers, people who maybe haven't had the opportunity or the affordability to go through formal education yet in digital forensics and really want to know about mobile forensics, and also providing for those people we're building who want to go through our courses. Not only is it an affordable platform, not only is it on demand so you can fit it into your schedule if you already have work, school, children, wherever people are in their stage in life.
So convenient.
But they can do it in these mini courses, so they're doing a topic at a time. We have a pathway order, but you can change it based on maybe knowledge you already have. And in addition, we have a certification that we're building for mobile forensics.
Nice.
Based off, and you don't have to do the courses, take it. You could just go straight for the cert. Again, everything's very affordable. Actually, the courses, I'll say the price. The individual mini courses are $50 each, but you cap at $800 for the year, including the certification exam.
Really?
And the certification exam is really cool. So it is a new test every quarter. We open the test for the quarter. So let's say we open the test in September. You'd have from September to December 31st to take it. It is an exam. You conduct an exam. You produce a report. We changed that exam on January 1. The reason is you then get graded in that period after January 1. We give it to you. Not only do you get your certification if you pass, or you can start the new attempt on the new exam, but you also get your report, and you're able to use that as a portfolio piece to demonstrate to a potential employer your ability to conduct an exam and write a report. Because at the end of the day, knowing how to write is important as well.
You are very busy. I mean, I don't know how you have time to do all of this.
I have an
stuff.
amazing team. So thank you to my team at Hexordia. Thank you for all you guys do.
Kudos.
And so we're just I have the opportunity to do the things that I really love, and I'm able to continue my relationship with Magnet. They're a customer of Hexordia, so we still are supporting them. We just built the CTF and did the virtual global CTF with I think we had over 600 people playing live during the 3 hours.
Oh my gosh.
And then other people have played
cool
after. We put together a really cool challenge. We had a Windows 11 box and a Pixel. And then, you know what? I'm going to make an announcement right now. So I built another CTF that we did in person in Nashville. But there were only the people in Nashville that was exposed to. So we're actually going to run that CTF live on June 15th for another 3-hour block. And that one, so we'll release the data sometime, I think, next week. And so check Magnet's site for that. But that CTF has a Linux box and an iOS 15 image. So if you want an iOS 15 full file system image just for testing, go ahead and sign up for the CTF. And also we've got this Ubuntu image. And when I tell you what we've got built in that case is wild. And if you did the other CTF, it's the other half of the scenario. So you'll get to see the other side. And I'm not saying which side's in a victim and which side's in a various actor, because maybe both did a little bit of each. And so you'll see the other side of the case with completely different evidence, right? So you had an iOS device and a Windows device in the set you just, I'm sorry, a Pixel and a Windows device in the set you just did. Now you can do an iOS and a Linux box and totally new questions. And again, you can then use those images for something else that you want. If you've got research you want to do, edit them. We made sure to put applications in there that weren't supported. We got live malware in there. So there's a lot of incident response, NDF stuff in there. And huge shout out to the 4 amazing students at the Champlain Digital Forensics Association who worked with me for 6 months to build that.
6 months.
It takes
that
us
is
6
huge.
months to build
I'm
that from the
excited.
time we start. So.
Where can people go to get information? Because I put a link in the description already because I knew you were coming on. But I want to add some more to where we can get that.
So that blog post is going to come out Monday from Magnet Forensics.
Okay, excellent. So keep your eye on Magnet.
So keep your eye on that, but keep your eye on my social media. I'll blast the heck out of it. So at Bin2Hex, B1N2H3X, because I'm a freaking nerd who made an alphanumeric binary to hex with a pattern and a chronological order in my username. But that's okay. So
oh my gosh.
So at Bin2Hex. And at Hexordia, follow both on Twitter and LinkedIn, because both will be talking about the CTF, all our research we're doing, the courses. Like the best way to find out everything that I'm up to and that Hexordia is up to is to really just check us out on social, because we share everything all the time.
Yeah. We'll add some links down in the description of this video
Excellent.
too. They're not there right now as we're live, but I will put those to get there. But before you go, because I know you have a talk, and I don't know what time's your talk.
I do. My talk is at 3:30, but I want to be over there at 3, so we're okay.
We're good. Now,
we're okay.
I'm hiding it from you because I see you trying to look.
I am trying to look.
Because you're like, what is this?
I mean, that's our nature, right? Our nature is trying to figure out everything. We figure it out. That's what we do.
So you served in the U.S. Marine Corps, right?
Hoorah.
So you're very familiar with an A-10 Warthog?
I am.
Okay.
So wait, before you tell me, I don't know if you know what I did in the Marine Corps.
No, I actually do.
So I was an avionics man. I fixed Harriers. And actually, when I did my A school, which is with the Navy, down in Florida, we actually did our first shooting of wires and everything else. By the way, that's how come I became a solder maven. Like the whole reason I got into ripping boards apart when I started. When I was at TDAC was because I had that experience and I had all these strong soldering skills from fixing jets. So I was an avionics man. So in A school, we did all of our training and learning on old A-10s that were in the hangar there.
So you may be very familiar with what I'm about to show you here. And so you can pick one. What this is, these, I'd like you to pick this, but it's because it says Cyber Social Hub
Look
and
at
Hubcast
that.
for being a guest on our show.
Oh.
And this is actually fired from an A10 Warthog. It's a training round. You can see they put they fixed the primer out of it. Now,
Oh, did I curse? I'm not
you can
supposed
curse.
to do that.
You're allowed.
Wait, this is mad freaking cool.
Yeah, and they've obviously cut the casing down considerably because they're normally like yay long. And there you go. There's a shot glass, and if you're not a drinker, you can by all means make a candle or something out of it. But
No, I mean, so even if you don't drink, let me tell you. So I actually don't drink, but I make mocktails.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so
right.
I actually do a lot of really cool mocktails.
Really?
There's some really cool things you
We
can
should
do.
just do a whole episode of mocktails.
Yeah, let's mix
come on
mocktails.
and do it.
But people don't know, and so I used to consume alcohol,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
had to stop, and but I still enjoy like a fancy drink.
There you go.
And there's so much you can make, and now there's all these like mocktail
And
mixers.
what better to have it than out of this?
I
I'll let you
love
pick which one.
this.
Now,
Well-
I'll give you this card regardless because that one does not come with it. It's the certificate that says, yes, this was indeed fired out of an A10 Warthog.
And so for people,
on the back.
I feel like people need to see
Yeah.
the actual A10. Yeah, so I actually used to shoot wires on these.
Oh, no kidding.
So, like I said, it was the trainers
Yeah.
that we used that were the old ones that were in the hangar in my A school.
That's
so
awesome.
so that's
Well,
actually really, really darn cool.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank
and
you
so
for
that
this.
is
This is
yours. Yeah, it's very cool, right?
Amazing. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, Jessica, thank you. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I really would like to talk to you more in length at some point, so maybe I can wheel you in on a future one at some point.
Yeah.
And just come and chat
Absolutely.
about some projects you're working on.
We got a lot going on.
Okay.
So much we can
All
always
right.
chat about.
Great. Well, thank you very much. And
Because we didn't even talk about like HTCIA.
No,
or anything
no,
like that.
we didn't.
Come,
So-
come check out the conference in Atlantic
There you
City,
go.
28th through 30th.
so there it is.
Sorry.
Who's singing. Someone's
I'll
singing.
see you there. Someone is singing. It must be.
Oh, no,
important.
maybe it's just feedback from. Nope, it's just weird echo I'm getting.
right.
Anyway, I
Thanks,
thought someone was
Paul.
singing.
Thank
So
you
thanks,
so
everybody.
much.
And we will be broadcasting again all through the conference. I don't know if we're going to have any more yet today, but just hit the little bell down in the corner. You'll get notified as we do go live if you're interested in some of the conversations we're having. But definitely tomorrow there's going to be a ton. We may try to squeeze one or two more yet in today. Again, Jessica, thank you very much. It's been a
Thank
pleasure.
you. You're awesome.
All right, thank you. All right, bye-bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.